It's the Antoine Semenyo show again, Reds, here on Forever United TV. It is serious. It is actually a real thing, this now. Day by day, it keeps on breaking down and more details are coming out around Antoine Semenyo and this move in January. It's happening, everybody. It is 100% on in January. It's just a fight as to who is going to get him. But we have major updates on the show this evening about where Manchester United lie financially and what Manchester United did do in the summer. More importantly, from big sources and tier one journalists as well, from Kyle Anker of The Athletic, Ben Jacobs of everywhere, and of course Fabrizio Romano, all on Antoine Semenyo and what is going down right now. We do have updates on the other news as well regarding Manchester United's hunt for midfielders. We're going to bring that to you also, but the most important thing is Semenyo. Now, I'm usually live at this time of the night. I do apologise. Just back from London, long day of travelling. So what I'm going to do is just break down all the information. You digest it and then get straight into the comment section. And let me know if you think this is real, everybody, because there's no way that I can look at this any other way right now with Semenyo, but other than it is on if we want it. Now, Ben Jacobs, first of all, broke it down. And the most important thing about this is this news from Jacobs hasn't been released yet. And this is definitely new news for us to deal with, which is the financial situation. Now, I've been talking about the financial side of things, whether Manchester United have money left over from Anthony Garnacho. Remember, last week of the window, we sold Garnacho and Anthony for over 60 million quid. 40 of that was pure profit from Garnacho. Well, we don't get it all in one go, but of course, in instalments, it still helps United out. We spent another 18 million on Lamans, and that was it. No midfielder came in. So was there money there, and can Manchester United spend it in January? But Jacobs, in his words, there is nothing financially stopping Manchester United from going for Antoine Semenyo. On top of this, Fabrizio Romano has now released his video on Semenyo and broke down the details of what it is going to take for Bournemouth to release the forward, to release Antoine Semenyo. So Romano has doubled down on everyone else's comments and where this actually is now as a deal for anybody. Like, I'm not just playing this Man United card on this here, but what we are looking at here is a player that is well and truly open and wanting to move, and there is a fee that gets it done. United having that money in place and having that available is huge right now, because it means we might be ahead of other football clubs in their financial PSI year. So that's what you've got to bear in mind with this one. And if you're thinking we might not get Semenyo, other clubs are in for him, we haven't got Champions League or European football to offer him, still, Manchester United hold the best financial card on this. The most interesting bit of news that I have seen on this is Kyle Anker's approach to this, talking on Talk of the Devils. Obviously, Kyle Anker, the Athletic journalist, and this is what he said on it. The 65 million release clause only works for the first 10 days of January, this January transfer window. So now we know the timescale of when this deal needs to happen. The first 10 days. If anybody wants to activate it, Semenyo moves. The money is done quickly, and that gives Bournemouth the rest of the window to get a deal done, replacing Semenyo. Apparently, there is a similar apparatus for the summer transfer window as well. There's some apparatus where the fee can actually be lowered as well. Manchester United did have a look at him in the summer, but Bournemouth quoted a fee of around £70 million. United said no and moved on to the next target on their list, which was Bryan Mbeumo. More importantly, at the end of that, moved on to the next target, Bryan Mbeumo, not Plan B. So United actually, we're going to get Semenyo if that deal worked out right for them. But their other target that they were going for in the summer was Bryan Mbeumo. Whether or not this would have meant Man United went out for Benjamin Sesko or not is another story, because of course Mbeumo came before Benjamin Sesko. So the plot thickens, and what happened in the summer for Manchester United, and I think we look at this and go 70 million, that price has come down by 10 million after another 6 months of Antoine Semenyo proving himself in the Premier League. He has made this happen, and his agent have implemented this clause in his contract which allows teams to come in and comfortably afford him, and Brentford know this. interest. It's the only reason he signed the contract. And this is how he gets himself out of the football club. Semenyo is moving in January. It's as simple as that. There is nothing going to stop this deal from happening. Bournemouth cannot do anything to stop it and are not going to stand in his way. As long as 60 million is down within the first 10 days of January, otherwise it's off. It has to happen. Now, you could come in at the end of the month, but you're probably going to end up spending a lot more. Look, I don't think that's even a real thing. I'm just guessing at that. But if you do come in after the 10th of January, then you're not going to get Semenyo. Bournemouth want to make it clear, and I've made it clear, and this is what Romano's approach was on this as well earlier on, that it only happens if someone comes in with that 60 million. There is 5 million in add-ons. I don't think anybody's bothered about that. It just depends how this 60 million is structured now. So Ben Jacobs coming out and saying that Manchester United financially have no issue in making this deal happen. That means he, again, and journalists do this, and what we have to remember is this is their approach to it. They don't give everything away because they need more content for later. So this story keeps on spreading out. First of all, Ben Jacobs finds out about the clause. Then other people start talking about the clause where he can go for a certain fee. Then we know that Manchester United can afford that fee. And then the next instalment and the next story coming out from someone like Ben Jacobs or another journalist will be how Manchester United how they intend to structure that deal. Now, they will already know how Bournemouth want this money. And him coming out and saying, Ben Jacobs, this is that Manchester United don't have any financial situation there or nothing financially is going to stop them making this deal happen. He would know that this is a deal that United could make and get done. It all comes down to whether Manchester United wants Semenyo. And going off the summer and going off the previous reports on what's been said, Manchester United and Ruben Amorim want Antoine Semenyo. The talk of Joshua Zirkzee from Paul Hurst of The Times, you'll see his stories coming out tonight as well, has been of only if another forward comes in will Joshua Zirkzee move. Manchester United will only allow Zirkzee to leave if the right deal comes in for him. And I don't know what that is because United are not giving anything away on player sales at the moment. So realistically, we have to wait it out and see if United make a move on Semenyo before we even get anywhere near Joshua Zirkzee. Look, when I go back live in the morning, we'll talk about this in more detail because I think this is now going to escalate even more. Press conferences are tomorrow. We'll have them covered here on Forever United TV as well. I'm sure Ruben Amorim is now going to be asked this question because all the journalists and correspondents for the Northwest and around Manchester United are all talking about this deal now, and they're all going to be sat there facing up to Ruben Amorim in that presser tomorrow. So them questions are coming and there's no hiding for Ruben Amorim. I think the response we'll get is the natural, normal response. You know the score. It is. We'll always try to make deals happen and we're always looking to see if we can improve our squad within the transfer market. We'll talk to Jason. We'll talk to Christopher. We'll talk to everyone in the recruitment team and we'll try and get what deals we can get done and try and strengthen. That's pretty much the generic response that you're going to get from Ruben Amorim in this one. But the exciting thing is that this deal is 100% on for anybody. And Manchester United are more than interested in Antoine Semenyo. The other news coming out as well from every single journalist was around Manchester United's midfield targets. Look, Baleba, Elliot Anderson, it doesn't really matter. Manchester United are on for Elliot Anderson. They're on for Carlos Baleba. Carlos Baleba will not sign for anybody else if the offers are on the table. If United make an offer, it goes to United. It's clear as day. That's what happens. Manchester United also want Elliot Anderson and will go in for him. North East correspondent tonight, who is always talking around Newcastle, and Craig Hope, has come out and said, and this was the big thing, all of the talk was around Newcastle taking Elliot Anderson. He's come out and said, Newcastle fans won't want me to say this, won't want to hear this, but there is a big push from the likes of Manchester United, City and Real Madrid to take Elliot Anderson, and Newcastle are not in the reckoning as much as them. There is going to be a big attempt from both Manchester clubs to get Anderson in the summer. It's not going to happen in January. None of the big guns are going to move in January. It's going to be in the summer. So the Newcastle correspondent is binning off the Newcastle interest now on Elliot Anderson. So this is significant also. And again, I'll get more details overnight and come back with this in the morning when we go live as well. But this is starting to really take shape right now. And we're looking at an organised transfer window here, I think, for Manchester United come the summer, because these deals are being spoken about months and months and months in advance now. And United are getting everything in order, ready to go. Because well, the World Cup's coming, and the transfer window and the time that we've got in it is going to be a lot shorter than last summer's. Having the extra month, no tournaments, 3 months full to get no negotiations done. Cut that down by at least half, and that's what the transfer window is. With the World Cup and no June transfers this window, United are getting deals done now, which is why we're talking about it so much, and it needs to be spoken about, because Baleba and Elliot Anderson are real deal signings for United. We could have Semenyo, Anderson and Baleba going off the news that's broke today. That's how big it is, and that's how important it is as well. And everything else from the sales side of things will go along with that as well. So that is the major news. In terms of January, it's Semenyo. In terms of midfielders in January, there are only 2. And Ben Jacobs pretty much said what I said in the last live show. The only 2 that United could potentially get their hands on are either Conor Gallagher or, yes, you guessed it, João Gomez from Wolves. They might be tempted if the right bid comes in, is the stance from a few journalists now on Gomez. And of course, Conor Gallagher, the decision will be made in the next 5 weeks before the window opens, and whether or not he wants to push a move back to England, like some reports have actually said. Alongside Baleba, Angelo Stiller is still very highly thought of though. So don't forget that name. That one could still come in and have an impact at United. You might not get Baleba if Brighton want big money. Stiller could come in, Anderson could come in. Don't forget about Wharton and everyone else that we've already spoken about. Is João Gomez enough to cover what Manchester United wanted in Carlos Baleba? You've got all of these questions floating around. But your big news, everybody, which I want your comments in on, is United have not got any financial issue in getting Semenyo in January. The deal is done. The price is on the table. United have already bid for him once and are ready to go back in again. They are interested. There are several clubs interested, and it is now a race for the first 10 days of January to get Semenyo's signature on that contract and signed up this season. This is going to cook, and this is now going to be the big news going forward into this transfer window. We'll keep an eye on everything as it breaks down. We might get more news as it comes before the window opens in terms of what is actually going to happen. Maybe there is a offer on the table ready to go and we get some inside info. We'll keep a check on it. I'll keep you updated. But more importantly, 60 million. Do you go for Semenyo? It's all set up for United if they want him. Are we getting him? Get into the comments section. Let me know what you think. Please do pop a like on this video. I will be back live tomorrow. This is the last one out of the way from the normal schedule. I wanted to get the content across. Didn't want to leave you standing after all this news coming out. I've studied everything on the train back from London and brought it to you this evening, everybody. And I'll be back with more first thing in the morning. Give this video a like, share. Make sure you hit that subscribe button up on your screen there as well, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow.